All right, in this video, we're going to create a logo for a company called Rhythm and Time, an old clock company. And we're going to jump into After Effects and animate a logo. So we're going to grab an image, we'll bring that in, create our composition, and start animating position, scale, and rotation to create a cool animated logo for a video. Let's go. All right, so here we are in After Effects. Let's go ahead and import our logo or our image. So I'm going to select Assets, and I'm just going to go File, Import File. And I'm going to locate that project I'm looking for, and it's going to be Tutorials, After Effects. And I'm going to bring this PNG into place. And that's fine. I'm going to leave everything the same here. Import as footage, that's totally fine. It's only one image, so I don't need a sequence. I don't really need to create a composition either. I'm going to uncheck that for now and choose Import. There we go. And because I had assets selected from the start, it went ahead and put cog, that image, right into the assets folder. Okay. You can move these around. So in case I didn't do that, if I dropped it just in the main section here, I could just drag it and put it into the assets folder. Just like that. All right. So let's create a composition. So I'm going to come down here into my project panel, and we've got some different icons here, and I'm going to choose this one right here. It has like some shapes in the center of it. I'm going to click it. It says composition settings, and I'm going to call this one title. Okay, and we can say custom. I'm going to choose 1920 by 1080, and let's say 30 frames a second. So there we go. So 1920 by 1080 at 29.97 frames per second. Looks good. Background is black. That's totally fine for now. And I'll click OK. So there's my composition. And if I zoom out, there you go. I'm just zooming out simply by rolling my middle mouse button. You could also come down here and say in our composition panel and say instead of 25%, let's say fit. Okay. And there is our composition. So we're ready to go. Next thing we're going to do is drop this cog, drop it right into our panel just by dragging it down. And there is our first layer for our composition. And right now it doesn't really do anything, it just sits there. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, Control D to duplicate. And now we're going to start moving around. So let's take a look at scale in this particular case. So the shortcut for scale is S on your keyboard. But if I click this little triangle next to the layer, I can expand this out and look for transform. Now, if your transform is not expanded, go ahead and click that triangle next to that or that arrow next to transform to expand it out. Here are the different attributes. You've got anchor point, position, scale, rotation, opacity. And you've got stopwatches next to every single attribute. So all of these attributes can be selected. Also, on the right-hand side, you've got these little squigglies. We call them a pick whip tool. Okay. We're going to select these little icons and parent and connect things as we go. Whoop, Control Z, and connect them to different attributes as we get further into our lessons with After Effects. But for starters, let's go ahead and do some animation. So I've got the transform up on this one. I'm gonna choose this one at the bottom one and hit S on your keyboard, so you can simply isolate scale. Now, if I also wanted to see rotation, I could hold Shift R, because that says, hey, I want to see scale and rotation. Okay. Otherwise, I could just expand this to see scale and rotation and everything there. So it's up to you on how much you want to see. If you only need a few things like scale, rotation, opacity, it would be S, R, and T. And all you'd have to do is simply hit S and then Shift R, Shift T, and you can see all of them. Just those three. Okay, so you can isolate what you want to see and how you want to see them. So that's really nice if you're working with a big, complex composition. So now let's make our first adjustment. So I'm going to take this second cog, and I want it to be a smaller cog off of the big one. So I'm just going to scale this down just a little bit. And I'm going to just grab it and move it off to the side for now, like so. Maybe I'll scale it up a little bit. And all I'm doing is clicking and dragging on the percentage for now. Just kind of moving them into place. And that's it. We've made our first, really just moved things around, kind of scaled it down. Now I've got it into place where I need it. Let's make another one. I'm going to choose this one here, hit Control D to duplicate. Again, scale and Shift P for position. And this time I'm going to move this one, say, right here. Yeah, maybe something like that. That looks kind of cool. And so there we go. I've got 3 cogs and for this logo. And then I'm going to put some text over the top of this. Okay. So there we go. We've got our project underway. We've created some folders to organize our project. We've created some layers in our new composition. And we've actually scaled and moved some things into place. And we've got somewhat of a start on our project. In the next video, let's parent these together so we can move these cogs around as a group and then start to animate our cogs together. I'll see you there.